Hi, welcome back to Good Job Mom. Today, I'm going to talk to you about 2020. Basically, for 2020, I went into it, like many of us did, I'm sure, with tons of goals. And I achieved about 2 of them. My 2020 goals consisted of losing weight. That didn't happen. I actually gained weight. Thank you. Like lack of self-control and COVID. To start Good Job Mom, which I did. Yeah. Exercise consistently, didn't happen. Become a better worship leader, didn't happen. On my end, I definitely spent more time in the Word. Definitely, like, I took like a couple like worship classes, but part of becoming a better worship leader is actually doing it. For a good portion of time, the church was closed. It was hard to become a better worship leader if I'm actually not worship leading. Okay. Another goal was read the Word and pray daily. I did a really great job of that. I did not do it every day. I think my Bible app said that I was in the Bible for 340 days out of 365, which is really good, but that's not every day. And then bedtime, 11 p.m. And child, I did not go to bed at 11 p.m. Again, thank you, COVID. I became like a night owl. Like, what? So I set all of these goals. I achieved about 1.5 of them. If I give myself 2 of them, okay, fine, I guess, kind of. And for a person who is like definitely weighed down by their lack of achievements or their actual achievements, that was really hard for me, like through 2020, to really not be like hitting my goals and hitting what I needed to do daily. However, I also learned in 2020 to show myself some grace and to kind of just roll with what was happening. Literally, life as I knew it was uprooted and a new way of living was planted. And I am focusing on what I did do instead of what I didn't do. A lot of people's reality sucked, mine included, but I also feel like even through everything that me and my family have been through in 2020, there were a lot of awesome, phenomenal things that happened. And so I think, as a 2020 recap, it's like I was definitely crushed, but God used that crushing not to make me perfect, but to mold me and to make me better than I was before. He took my eyes off of what was important, what I thought was important, and he focused my eyes on what was really important. Things that I've now come to realize are really important are forgiving myself, being patient with myself, showing myself grace, forgiving other people, being patient with other people, and showing other people grace. Realizing that I actually have everything I need right here in my home, right here in my circles of friendships, and realizing that I am happy because of that. I had some time to assess why I always want more, how that more affects me, how that more will affect if I were to get that more. How does it affect other people in a positive way? Is it all about me? Am I centering myself, or am I centering God's will for me? Am I centering God's purposes and promises? Because when I do, that can overflow, and that can not only affect me, but it is able to affect other people in a very, very positive way. I also got to realize that being emotionally healthy is a measure of success, and not just what I've always measured as success, which is like my achievements and like what I'm doing, the tasks that I've gotten done, and like where I am in life, where I think I should. 2020 literally held so much like anger, disappointment, sadness, just going with what is different around us, and not choosing to go with what's different, but having to go with what is different, being forced into this new way of living. We all experience in some shape or form, people in virtual school, whether it's our kids or knowing people with kids that had to go through virtual school, and watching our kids do that, and seeing like it's not only hard for us, but it was like hard for our kids that were kind of ripped from being around people their age, and then like we were ripped away from being around people our peers. And slowly, I know some of us have like these quarantine bubbles where we hang out with just a circle of friends, always staying safe, but that was a huge change. I know that I personally lost out on playtime and play dates for Zuri, like going to story time, things that I got to do with AJ when he was a toddler, I did not get to do with Zuri, and that was super disappointing for me. And I know that there's a lot of you out there who gave birth to kids during COVID, and you've lost out on people maybe sending things to the hospital after you gave birth, those extra couple days in the hospital after you give birth, people coming over to visit your baby, and coming over to maybe help with laundry or cook you meals, having to go back and forth with like, I want to share these moments with the people that I love, but I feel a little guilty because I want them to be safe. And so like, I see you, Mama. I can't imagine like having to experience that. And I know it must have been hard, but like, look at you, girl. Like, you did that. You're doing it right now. And I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of you mamas who have adjusted to virtual school. I know there's a few states that have opened back up and like the kids can go into school, but then there's states like where I'm living in Maryland, like school hasn't even opened. And so I see you, mama. I see you, girl, who like sent your kids to school because you're like, you know what? I gotta send my kids to school either because I need to work or for my sanity. Like, I see you. I know that was a really hard decision. I know that you didn't take it lightly when you made that decision. And mama who's keeping her kids home or who is forced to because schools haven't opened, I see you too, because that is really hard. Girl, I feel you, because I'm still there. And it is emotionally really, really hard. Okay? Like, okay. Like, for real. 2020, I got COVID. I had surgery, and I also experienced 4 people dying. Someone we went to church with, my husband's grandma, his father, and his uncle. And so all of the things that like we're all going through, those things were also what was happening in our life. I know that some of you have gone through the same thing. I know that there are some of you who had surgery, a lot of you who had COVID, a lot of you that have experienced death, people that you love. And like, I want you to know that I see you too. And so through all of this happening, I know that 2021 is here, and I know that like 2020 was hard, but I want to give you a pat on the back. I want to say good job. Like, no, seriously, good job. You did that. You killed that. Whether you achieved the goals that you set, or you learned how to work through it and flow through it and just like make it happen, like that is worthy of some praise. You adapted. Good job. Okay, let's not focus on maybe the goals that we set at the beginning of the year. Let's just focus on the fact that we got where we are right now, because that's a big deal. I want all of us to take these lessons that we've learned. I want us to apply them in ways that are going to change not only our lives, but the people around us. I want you to acknowledge and accept and just think about how resilient you are, how you are a fighter. 2020 gave all of us superpowers that we did not know that we had, and that we did not even know that we were capable of using. And I just have to shout out God, because there is no way that I would have gotten through 2020 without his strength, without his peace, without his joy, and without his provision. There is absolutely no way. And so I just want to leave you with some Bible verses that definitely help me, and that I hope will help you you know, kind of work through everything that happened in 2020 and then also help you in 2021. Before I tap into that and into those Bible verses, I just want to say this to you about setting goals this year. I 100% encourage you to set goals that are, you know, like losing weight, starting a new business, making more money, exercising more, like all of those types of things. And I know that there are more types of goals out there, but I encourage you to do that. But I also think after going through what we went through in 2020, that it is so important to set goals that are emotional and spiritually centered. And that means that maybe you set a goal of becoming more patient, more kind, more loving, having more self-control with how you respond and when you respond, setting goals to have a better tone when you interact with people, setting goals to be less defensive, have a more kind, loving attitude, even when you have the world crashing down around you, that you are still being loving and kind to the people around you, setting a goal of forgiveness for yourself and for other people, setting a goal to be more peaceful, to question your frame of mind and ask yourself, is this the frame of mind? Is this the perspective that I should have? Okay, what kind do I want to have? How can I make that happen? Set goals of the heart and the spirit. I would love to take credit for this, but it is the fruit of the spirit that I am, you know, more so leaning towards when I'm speaking about that. And you can find that in the Bible, Galatians 5:22. Now some Bible verses that have definitely gotten me through. First one is Isaiah 30:18. Yet the Lord longs to be gracious to you, therefore he will rise up to show you compassion, for the Lord is a God of justice. Blessed are all who wait for him. Galatians 5:13. You, my brothers and sisters, were called to be free, but do not use your freedom to indulge the flesh. Rather serve one another humbly in love. Psalms 146:4. When their spirit departs, they return to the ground. On that very day, their plans come to nothing. It just makes me think of all the plans that we have here on earth. And I want that to give you comfort, that I know it is really important to set goals and to have our achievements. I'm not dismissing that. I am a 3 on the Enneagram. It is super, super important to me. But at the end of the day, when all is said and done, all the plans that we've made here, they go when we leave this earth. Psalms 145:13. Your kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and your dominion endures through all generations. He is with us always. Psalms 144:2. He is my loving God and my fortress, my stronghold and my deliverer, my shield in whom I take refuge, who subdues peoples under me. He fights for us. He fought for you in 2020, and he is fighting for you to this day. And even when it feels like he is not right next to you fighting, he is. It's right here. It is right here. 9:62. Jesus replied, "No one who puts a hand to the plow and looks back is fit for service in the kingdom of God." And so I just want you to know that it is perfectly okay to look back at what has happened and realize that, you know, things sucked, okay? But look at it, work through it, and then look ahead. Because once you start putting one foot in front of the other, healing begins. But you have to be intentional about it. Another verse, as far as looking back, is Philippians 3:13. Brothers and sisters, I do not consider myself yet to have taken hold of it, but one thing I do, forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead. Deuteronomy 31:6. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Now, these particular verses that I'm about to read to you really helped me get through some anger that I was having and some resentment. We're not the only ones to have dealt with it. David dealt with it. And I just think Psalms 40 Psalms 140 really helped me feel seen and feel like, okay, like anger is valid. And then I had to work through that. And I'm going to read to you Psalms 145, which helped me to realize that even through my anger, through my disappointment, through all the things that I'm going through, I need to praise him and worship him being God, because he is faithful, because he provides, and because he walks through every trial that I go through with me. Psalm 140, rescue me, Lord, from evildoers. Protect me from the violent who devise evil plans in their hearts and stir up war every day. They make their tongues as sharp as a serpent's. The poison of vipers is on their lips. Keep me safe, Lord, from the hands of the wicked. Protect me from the violent who devise ways to trip my feet. The arrogant have hidden a snare for me. They have spread out the cords of their net and have set traps for me along my path. I say to the Lord, you are my God. Hear, Lord, my cry for mercy. Sovereign Lord, my strong deliverer, you shield my head in the day of battle. Do not grant the wicked their desires, Lord. Do not let their plans succeed. Those who surround me proudly rear their heads. May the mischief of their lips engulf them. May burning coals fall on them. May they be thrown into the fire, into miry pits, never to rise. May slanderers not be established in the land. May disaster hunt down the violent. I know that the Lord secures justice for the poor and upholds the cause of the needy. Surely the righteous will praise your name, and the upright will live in your presence. Now, if that is not coming for somebody who has done you wrong, like what? Okay, or just like 2020, like that is for 2020. Okay, like 2020 and COVID, y'all like really tried all of our lives. Like you really tried all of our lives, and so we're not alone. We're not alone in feeling this way. 145. I will exalt you, my God, the King. I will praise your name forever and ever. Every day I will praise you and extol your name forever and ever. Great is the Lord and most worthy of praise. His greatness no one can fathom. Our generation commends your works to another. They tell of your mighty acts. They speak of the glorious splendor of your majesty, and I will meditate on your wonderful works. They tell of the power of your awesome works, and I will proclaim your great deeds. They celebrate your abundant goodness and joyfully sing of your righteousness. The Lord is gracious and compassionate, slow to anger, and rich in love. The Lord is good to all. He has compassion on all he has made. All your works praise you, Lord. Your faithful people extol you. They tell of the glory of your kingdom and speak of your might, so that all people may know of your mighty acts and the glorious splendor of your kingdom. Your kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and your dominion endures through all generations. The Lord is trustworthy in all he promises and faithful in all he does. The Lord upholds all who fall and lifts up all who are bowed down. The eyes of all look to you, and you give them their food at the proper time. You open your hand and satisfy the desires of every living thing. The Lord is righteous in all his ways and faithful in all he does. The Lord is near to all who call on him in truth. He fulfills the desires of those who fear him. He hears their cry and saves them. The Lord watches over all who love him, but all the wicked he will destroy. My mouth will speak in praise of the Lord. Let every creature praise his holy name forever and ever. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope that these Bible verses, I really hope that just this conversation about what 2020 was and what we thought it was going to be and what it turned out to be just really encourages you and inspires you to keep going, Remember, you are resilient. You have superpowers now, being able to adapt, being able to fight. You fought. You gave your best. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next Monday for Good Job Mom Monday.